Mis hunters, estamos esperando. Seguimos aquí en Hawái, vean nada más qué paraíso hermoso. El clima ha estado riquísimo porque anda nubladito, entonces hace calorcito, pero al mismo tiempo no te hartas, no sudas, no nada. Estamos en un edificio muy bonito y estamos a minutos de conocer lo que podría decir yo que es la mejor colección de juguetes de artista o de SOFUBI de artista en Hawái. Todo va a ser muy secreto, nos pidieron total discreción. Mr. D no va a aparecer para nada, tal vez nos quiera platicar un par de cosillas y se respeta. Ha sido de las primeras veces que pues pasa así como tan secreto, pero que al mismo tiempo nos dicen ven, conoce mi colección y grábala. Entonces no sé hasta qué punto vamos a poder grabar, pero me emociona, me siento muy fuera de mi elemento, porque normalmente cuando vas a una colección el guardián siempre quiere contar y pues echarle ganas conmigo al video. En esta ocasión voy a tratar de estarle preguntando algunas cositas, ver hasta dónde él quiere contarnos y ver esas piezas, porque para lo que me han dicho, esta colección jamás se ha grabado, ni siquiera tenían como la intención de hacerlo, pero pues ya que estamos aquí, nos invitaron y le dije, ¿se podrá grabar? Me dijo, graba lo que quieras, nada más a mí no. Entonces vamos a ver cómo funciona. Estamos en Hawái, mis hunters, y estamos a punto de conocer una colección demasiado potente. Trajimos parque, digo, por si se ponen las cosas chulas, divertirnos un ratito.
Let me just walk you by quickly, because I know out of the corner of your little
Wow, yes, I can't stop looking at that. Oh my God.
You're seeing what in the weird toy collector's world like hardly anybody has ever seen.
Wow. What a nice view you have here.
Thanks. Come have a look around.
Vean esto. ¿Sabes qué me acordé ahorita justamente? Un día vi un documental de una colección de cristal que creo que hubo un terremoto, se cayó todo y mandaron contrataron, en vez de tirarlo, porque fue así como una pérdida increíble de muranos y cosas así de unos en el mundo, en vez de como tirarlo y sufrir de eso, se les ocurrió la idea de contratar a un artista para que con los pedazos hiciera nuevas obras de arte y se revalorizó más. Y fue en un departamento muy similar a este, así como de... Alguien dígame si lo vio y si estoy equivocado, sí fue en Hawái, pero vean esto, imagínate despertar y diario ver esto. Yo estaría así, en pelotas. Se verá de afuera para adentro. No, los juguetes están muy locos, está muy loco esto. Aparte la vibra, ¿no? Se siente una vibra bien bonita.
So the upper row, most of them are glow in the dark.
Got the goosebumps.
Which was it was a series that he did many years ago called the White Light, White Heat, or was that White Heat, White Light? After the Velvet Underground song, and it came with illustrations relating to Andy Warhol and
all these parts.
Yeah,
wow, these
one or two of them. Definitely, this one in the very front here was not part of that series. This was a custom that he did, maybe privately for somebody. I'm not sure. So not many people have actually ever even seen this at all. You will not find any photos of it online, I'm pretty confident. Until now.
Until now, no, I'm very happy and thankful because of you. You opened
my pleasure.
The doors of your home and collection for us.
And then the second row down is, it's kind of an assortment, but they're all of his earliest.
All right.
The first ones. So there's the one that looks kind of meaty there. Yeah. Actually, if maybe you want to open the door and smell the vinyl.
Oh, yes, please.
and eliminate the glare at the same time.
Wow. Bueno, hablábamos. Cuando dejas las vitrinas cerradas por mucho tiempo, cuando abres sale el olor a SOFUBI.
Strong and concentrated in this glass capsule.
Nos cuenta que la parte de arriba fue como una serie inspirada en Andy Warhol y él ha tratado de ir recolectando de colección en colección cada una de estas piezas y que son glow in the dark. Este está increíble. Dice que de muchas que vemos aquí ni siquiera existen fotos y como que pues, lo noto un poco nervioso porque les digo, muchas veces al tú mostrar fotos, los que hacen imitaciones de estas piezas pues tienen de dónde, pero también es un tesoro escondido que se dice que pues una colección que no se muestra es una colección muerta. Me siento muy honrado, banda, me siento muy honrado y luego nos explica que lo que está aquí abajo son como los early versions, las primeras ediciones.
This one, kind of hiding in the back here, this is the very first Nag toy that was ever made.
Really?
2008 or so, 2009 was it?
2009,
I think
yeah.
we were talking about the other day, but I forget again. This was one of the earliest production runs. This one here was a prototype version for that. The prototype has these black eyes and slightly different coloring. The one that's higher up, the lighter color eyes, was actually the production run, which I forget if it was 5 or 10 of them. Back in the day.
Algo de lo que se habla, mucha gente cree que los ojos son incrustaciones y no, vean en este que está aquí el trabajo en los ojos.
You'll also see in there a familiar one to answer your question of the other night.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
So we're Nag brothers now.
Yeah. That one with the eyelashes, it's the one also, it looks like the Nag ball, right?
Kind of, yeah. It's different, but it's along those lines of the Nag ball. And this one, the eyes open and close.
All right.
And if you look close, you'll see the detail.
De aquí se ve muy bien.
He actually painted the eyelashes. I mean, the eyelids. And I believe he painted the eyeballs also. Oh, wow. Which is, I think we were talking about that the other day too.
Yes. Incredible.
One of these two camouflage ones was also a prototype. I believe I think it's the one here.
The lighter?
The one on the right, camouflage with the more yellowy eyes.
Yeah.
Was a prototype also very early on that led to the Vietnam version, which is the other camouflage pattern on the left.
Which ones are like the one-off? Algunas son únicas.
All of the glow-in-the-dark ones are one-off. They were, each colorway was just one. Oh. And I believe he did, some people have said 10, some people have said 15 total. Some people have explained that there was one set released in Japan and the other in the US.
All right.
So it's kind of tough to tell. And then the two in the back are a more recent sculpt, which is a slightly larger version.
Yeah. That was like the last model or figure he did?
Kinda, yeah. And then he started to do ones with more hair again, but all on those larger size sculpts. And I think many years ago he retired the original size.
It's amazing to see them all together. It's like a big happy family.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I'll pull this guy down. I don't know if you've ever seen good examples of directional sprays.
Wow.
So if you look down, he looks sort of yellowish. Yeah. And if you look up, he looks bluish.
Wow.
So SHIGERU.
De este lado se ve azulado, del otro lado se ve verdoso amarillo. No, but look, vean esta parte de aquí. Lo que habla la gente y los coleccionistas es que el trabajo de SHIGERU era increíble. O sea, los detalles, si te pones a ver pieza por pieza, te vuelves loco de lo que él se volaba haciendo sus piezas, sus hijos.
Imagine the insanity and the focus. Dot by dot by dot. He didn't spray that through with a pattern. It's one dot at a time. Thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dots. And later I'll show you him in a dark room.
Wow. I always do this question like at the half or at the end of the video, but will this be your favorite Nagnagnags piece from your collection?
Probably him, yeah. Yeah, it's tough to, because each one of them through the years, as I've managed to get them and find them, they all kind of have their own little story. Certain ones remind me of certain other collectors that were good enough to trade with me. This one I remember many years ago I found just sitting on the shelf of Mandarake in Shibuya.
That's unbelievable.
I ran down to the Citibank,
Citibank ATM
machine and Thankfully, at the time, it's a fraction of what they sell for now. So it was just, it was also still the most I had ever spent on a toy.
Yeah.
But, it's sort of laughable.
Me cuenta que fue al Mandarake de Shibuya y entró como cualquier otro cliente a buscar, ¿se acuerdan? Esa tienda que tenía muchos art toys. Y llega y lo ve ahí, dice, no lo podía creer. Y todavía me di el tiempo de correr a sacar dinero al cajero y comprarlo. Dice que en ese momento fue uno de los juguetes más raros o más caros que había comprado, pero no se compara. How much you paid for it like at those years?
It was about $1,000.
$1,000.
Which was huge money for me. I didn't have that much cash with me, but I saw it, moved quick, loved it, and had to have.
$1,000. Ahora valen más de 10 veces eso. Wow.
And I thought I was kind of crazy at the time, but who would have thought that the value on these things would go where they went?
That one is also amazing. The work with the pink.
Yeah, and if you look around the eyes and the under the eyes,
Like the cheeks?
yeah, above the cheeks and below the eyes, just the detail and the creepiness. Like you see it a lot in this too. It's like incredible.
The sadness, right? Like,
yeah, and just like it's so realistic, and it just adds to, it's a subtlety that adds to the great creepiness.
Do you know Shigeru, which kind of meaning he gave to the Nagnagnags?
I don't know that there's actually a meaning. I think he took it from the old Cabaret Voltaire song.
Really?
Yeah, it's like kind of a post-punk song. Nagnagnags.
Right.
Some of the art, or maybe illustrators that did his art on the header cards, would occasionally refer to that song. But I think that's where it came from, and I would bet anything it actually has no meaning whatsoever.
Okay. It's weird because I think with his death, a lot of like legends or myths will come up. And we will never know
exactly
what's true and not.
Yeah, there's a couple of really cool collectors out there that worked with him and have a really firsthand experience. So they probably have a lot of the answers. And cool. Some of them are happy to chat about it if you ever. I can always introduce you.
I will be more than happy to.
So this was we called it the Hedera version.
The Hedera. I think it looks like a volcano, right?
Kinda, yeah, like the skin erupting. If you look real close in here, it's great detail. And he did. There was the two-eyed version. He did some two eyes with hair, and there was also a three-eyed version, a Siamese version. That I'm forgetting if that had hair or not. People don't really like to sell unless they really need the money. With his death, really nobody knows what the value ought to be. Like, there was a pretty...
But that's art, everything goes up, I think.
Yeah, and occasionally interest dies down a little bit, and then it could go down. I don't think it's going to happen here because he's so influential. But the end result is nobody's really selling. And trading is easier. Yeah. Very recently, I kind of hit the point where I feel like everything I've got, I really love.
My wife, she's graphic designer, so she enjoys more of these because I've been collecting vintage toys since 20 years ago.
Oh wow, 20 years ago.
But when I started with the SOFUBI and the art toys, she likes more. Sometimes she buys for herself.
Excellent.
From Japan?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great example of something, which it's an earlier one too.
Yeah.
So this was called the bad meat version, or the spoiled meat version. The bad meat. And I love this because obviously it looks like meat, but if you look at the details, like in here, like this grayish green under the eyes, like it really looks like rancid meat.
Yeah.
But like it's so perfect, like the effort that he made to get it disgusting, like see in between the fingers, like every little placement.
I like the way you see all these small details.
It's all in the details with him, and nothing was random, I think. I really believe, and that's why his work was so special. There are different imprints, like you might be able to zoom in and read this.
Fucking USA.
The very original ones say "fuck the USA," which he did, I think, to be like rebellious and attention-seeking, scandalous. And then I think he received so much backlash that he changed it in the I guess in the mold he changed the to apostrophe N.
In the USA.
Which is a little more tongue-in-cheek, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, and this is amazing. Made in occupied Japan. Toys from the 40s, 50s have that legend.
So again, that was like a poke. Obviously, no longer occupied Japan, but he's getting it that just to be controversial, I guess, intentionally controversial, which got him a lot of attention also, and also I think a lot of hatred, but you know, this is what artists have to do.
He was a good artist, but also a good seller, because even if he don't sell directly, he put his product in a way everybody wanted, no? Like
Yeah, that's right. He definitely put himself out there, and there's still a bunch of mysteries around him. I'm sure people have answers by now, but
look at this leaf, it's like broken.
Yeah, even in the sculpt to have that detail, and usually pays a little extra attention to that broken lip when in the paintwork. Supposedly, I don't know if it's a legend or not, but it would make sense. It's said that he used to be he did makeup at a funeral home. So like he did in a mortician's office, he did the makeup on the dead bodies.
Really?
So I don't know if somebody made that up, but it's totally believable with the detail and, you know, the under the eye kind of. He's one of my favorites too, just because of that detail and all of the texture. But feel free if you want to pull anything out.
No, you help me out. I don't want to.
So if you zoom in, you can see how the skin is sort of erupting underneath the surface, or it feels like it is anyway.
Look at the shine on the nose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love the top of the scalp where the hair is. It just looks so painful.
Yeah, like when you sunburn, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of good detail here. And I've noticed over time, when there's a lot of this texture and different angles, even within a given run, they'll look a little different because they're all painted by hand. And the difference between these and a lot of the other soft vinyl toys are these were not made with masks. So he wasn't spraying usually. That was actually the first lottery that I won.
Really?
Yeah, very, very early on. I was so excited when I got the notice that I could buy it. And with shipping, I think it cost about $250.
Wow. Wow.
Expedited shipping from Japan to the mainland of the US.
So how long have you been collecting Nagnagnags?
Since they came out, really. I just love them immediately. Wow. That was, like I said, my first actual acquisition.
Yeah.
And then I got lucky with a couple of other lotteries, and then I just really very intensely traded. Used to be people would sell. This maker's called Long Neck.
Long Neck, all right.
Yeah, and they're sold through a tiny little store in Japan, usually sold through a small store in Japan in this little town called Ikoda.
Okay.
Which takes a couple of different trains to get to from Tokyo.
Okay. I've seen it on Instagram, but I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, they're really fun. Most of his designs, especially now, tend to be tributes. This is a Biman, sold through the same store originally.
Yeah.
These are more older time, not quite vintage. I guess pushing towards vintage now, but
what, like 90s or what?
Like let's see, I guess early 2000s, maybe very, very late 1990s into 2000.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's another one that's directionally sprayed. You might be able to pick it up on your camera if you go kind of zoom down and then zoom up. Maybe not. He changes from green to purple depending on which angle.
Incredible.
And sometimes what they pick for the tribute, it's just so clever in the first place, I think. Like this in the back, this was the original, I'm pretty sure is his very first Majin toy. And the reference is to that George Milieu movie. No. Where it was a silent movie, black and white, where
one of the first movies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Has a face.
Right, and then the rocket lands in the moon's head. So this was a tribute based making it look more like the moon and the craters.
Okay.
Later ones took on other shapes, like this obviously is the Joker, same sculpt, identical sculpt.
You have the Joker and Batman over there.
Actually, yeah, and but not quite Batman. This is
the Japanese version.
It was like the bootleg version. Yeah. It's a famous fake Batman or badly done Batman where he put it in red. They put it in a red suit.
It's amazing.
So he paid tribute to the bad bootleg version of Batman, which I always thought was hilarious and super clever.
It's incredible. And the size.
Yeah,
they're pictures, but you don't
they're kind of large.
Realize that it's
bigger. Kind of like shelf hugs too. This is a tribute to Shape of Water, which is that's another one of my favorites with the green and blue combination.
Listo. Wow. Muy bonito. Qué cara, ¿no? I like also this guy over here that is like hiding over there.
Yeah, kind of stuffed full.
Who's that? Like,
this is all the way in the back here?
Yes.
That's Izu Monster.
Izu Monster.
Whose stuff has also gotten really hard to find. That glows in the dark too. I love the glow in the dark pieces. The colors that he used on that always reminded me of saltwater taffy for some reason.
Okay. And the MVH over there.
Yeah, that's actually someone else painted that. Yeah, an artist. I think his working name is Obsessed Panda, if I'm not mistaken. The head is actually Paul Kaiju.
Okay. 3 artists together.
In this one, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, sort of lemonade, limeade. And that also glows, in fact. This is Gamal, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Gamal Toku. The artist's name, what is it? Gamal Toko. What does that mean?
Frog boy.
Frog boy. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. The artist goes by the name T-Com.
Okay.
He's a tattoo artist. This is Yuzu.
that paint is incredible.
Yeah, that's really cool. And kind of like the Bad Meat one.
Can we check it out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Vean esto, vean la pintura de este compadre.
Yuzu.
This is a collaboration or the same
This
artist?
is all him. Yeah,
Wow.
he did, I think, 13 versions of this toy. Wow. And they've actually gotten surprisingly valuable, I think. I mean, not like Nag valuable, but these are pretty tough to find. You find them on Mandarake sometimes.
2015
version.
Oh, look at the pecker over there. Oh my God, he's bleeding.
Yeah, little. Oh, right, bleeding.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's gotta hurt.
This one is also crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure who painted that. That's Enraku and Saku. But I don't know who painted it. I think that's a custom by someone unknown. Maybe they will write to you and let you know that they did it, and then I'll know.
Ok. Si alguien sabe quién lo pintó, díganos. Pero vean allá al fondo hay otros 3. Increíble.
So this is before, or right around the time when Paul Kaiju started to sculpt his own toys. He started by painting other toys.
Right.
So he actually did a little commission for me. He actually painted this too, this Matango. So if he sees this video, I think he'll be really amused to see some of this very, very old, early stuff. He probably wonders whatever happened to it.
Wow. And these little ones, what is it?
Oh, that's Target Earth. His toys from Japan often almost sort of satire or make fun of other makers' toys, often more expensive toys. So in this case, I think that's a little friendly hit to Nagnagnags, actually.
All right. Who made the one with the 2 heads?
That's also Biman. So Biman was the first maker that became like highly desirable, hard to get, kind of pricey.
Really?
But early on, you found them everywhere. There was a little before I started collecting, unfortunately. The purple and yellow one for $200 or something.
And these little guys?
They are, I forget who did those, who made them. They're just kind of fun and cute.
Yeah.
Sort of reminds me of some Bugs Bunny character or something. I had a Hirota piece.
Right.
That I had never even taken out of a bag. It was really nice. I don't know if you're familiar with his stuff.
Hirota, yeah.
It's the Brutal A. It was the first Brutal A robot that he released. And I never had it even displayed. I never had it out of the bag. Somebody, a huge collector of Hirota, because those guys are nuts. Like in China and Taiwan, they're so into Hirota right now.
Yeah.
And actually in Japan too. Like he does like these big gallery showings. You have to win a ticket just to get in to see the show, which just still doesn't guarantee a way of buying.
Oh, yeah,
He'll do it by
crazy.
silent auctions.
Yeah.
So it's like just impossible to get.
Yeah.
But this guy really wanted this Hirota piece, and he offered me that red nag toy.
Oh,
So the reason I agreed to it, because I had one, I don't need two. I'm not like a
You
pig
get one
like
of
that.
those, maybe you can trade for another one.
That's what I thought. I thought I can't necessarily always get a nag for a Hirota, but I could get a nag for a nag.
That's
and that's what I
easy.
was sort of shopping around, and nobody
I
really
appeared.
offered me. And then you appeared. So
I'm very happy.
you can
Thank you
thank this
very
crazy
much,
guy.
again.
Of course, I'm thrilled that you have it. You can thank this amazing collector in Taiwan indirectly.
All right, directly.
But he would deny ever trading with me,
It's like, all right.
because that's how crazy they are.
Vean eso, se está poniendo más tremendo esto.
It's pretty cool.
Vean los colores que se hacen si los ves por abajo, como que
Yeah, actually, this one has a bit of that directional thing going
a
on.
lot.
Not, yeah,
Vean eso. Wow.
a relatively new acquisition. So the Garamond tribute.
Wow.
And this is originally, these were either sold or given away by meeting SHIGERU in some club in Japan at some particular day and time. Like all very random and
Estos
weird.
son los que dicen los primeritos que él empezó a tirar como fotos, como cosas en internet para que la gente los viera. Y después, lo más extraño era que citaba a 2 o 3 personas en un bar en Japón a cierta hora y quien llegaba se lo vendía. Entonces toda esa como onda oscura fue lo que fue haciendo esto muy extraño y muy deseado. That's amazing.
And if you look at the bottom here, you can see it well. It's the different stamp on the
Fuck
front.
the USA.
So this
yeah.
was the original stamp.
And it also said made in occupied Japan.
Yeah, I don't think this one changed. So this is known as for whatever reason, the Hello Cowboy version.
Hello, cowboy.
It's, at least that's what it said on the header card. And for me personally, I was seeking this for about 10 years. And just this past year, I was able to connect with it. Wow. So that was...
Congrats.
Thanks. It was a happy moment. And all the different collectors that I knew all knew I was looking for it. And, people were actually trying to help, which is really cool. Finally, one great collector a good friend in Los Angeles area said, I have a friend who has this.
Wow.
And it was actually in the bag.
Do you
Sure.
mind if I hold it?
Yeah, so what does that one say on the foot?
Yeah. The USA.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, because I think this might have been like the 3rd or so version.
It's also early.
Yeah, very early.
Wow.
But yeah, this just took me forever to track down, and then when I did, it was still sealed in its bag. And people, a couple people that knew I had it, they're like, "Oh, you got to keep it that way." And I said, "No, got to set it free and let him be with his brothers."
Wow.
So I don't know what that
olor
did
que
to the
tiene
value,
es
but
espectacular. No, but it's a pack that you can open and then put it again back.
yeah, it was more important that he comes out and is social with his family.
I think I'm making my selection. Each one has its own personality.
Yeah, it really does. And usually it's like really cool collectors that you meet along the way. A lot of people I've never met in person. Most I've not met in person. maybe a couple I've talked to
this
on
one
video.
has some magic with the dots.
That one to me just kind of has it all. It's so weird that most people have never even seen it. In fact, when I got it originally from the collector, I had a promise to never photograph it or show it for a couple of years.
For a couple of years. Yeah.
I guess that time period has expired now.
Oh, thank you very much. No, it's unbelievable. Vamos a cortar. Let's pop up the champagne.
Oh yeah, our bedroom.
Oh, this is where the magic happens. Wow.
So this is there's like no sequence or these are just extras, and then some of these boxes also have toys.
That's amazing.
So these are also awesome.
So you have your Hawaiian t-shirt.
This is their act, right? Probably 50% of them from the Goodwill in San Francisco. Wear it once and donate it. Thank you.
Wow,
Bay Area.
pásense a ver tantito y voy después yo porque esto está increíble.
You know, there's some tough toys to find in here.
I don't recognize any. Maybe the skull over there is Solman?
Zoltan. The
one with the pincers.
It's a Cure. Oh my God, I'm forgetting who made the Exohead. And cool. The character is called Galton.
Okay.
Galton. And this one that says Mad Trench there, that's very new actually. That was Paul Kaiju painted.
I saw that on Instagram. I thought the sculptor was Paul Kaiju's.
Oh yeah, no, I think he just did a run, a painted run of them.
La que está ahí, Mad Trench para abajo.
And then if you look in the very corner, two to the right, that is the very first Kaite Majin that Longneck did. He's still in his bag for some reason. But that was the very first version.
El que está en tarjeta. All right. And the other one is like the Ultra 7 or something.
Yeah, from maybe 2 years ago or so. 1 to 2 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, not room for everything, unfortunately.
No, never. It's our worst enemy. Space.
That's right. Space and time.
Déjame pasar ahora, Space and time, that's right. Oh, look at the Super 7. What's the name of the character?
Oh, Mummy Boy.
Mummy Boy.
Yeah, and that was customized by someone for me many years ago to be like Johnny Sacco and his giant robot.
Who's this one?
I forget.
Está bien bonito.
Fairly recent though. I think maybe a year or two ago. I'd have to look back. I think that one's marbled vinyl with painted eyes. That's also TCOM.
Wow.
The same maker as the bottom shelf outside there.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Demogorgon is the name of the sculpt.
This one?
Yes.
So beautiful.
It's cool, yeah.
Crazy. Oh, look at this. You have two females in the collection.
That's right. Actually, I think that might be Paul Kaiju also, this one. Ugly Betty, I believe it's
Ugly
called.
Betty. What I like about you is like everywhere you go, like frequently in your home, like the living room or your closet, you see your toys.
That's right.
So every morning you enter here and first a quick look to the toys and then rub your your undies.
Exactly, yeah. It all kind of comes back around to that.
How are they called? Tiki?
No, sort of. In Hawaiian, they're called ki'i. K-I apostrophe I is the proper name in Hawaiian. Okay. Tiki is, I don't know if that's like the anglicized term or definitely more common term. But
toda la casa tiene y dice que le gusta mucho porque era algo tan religioso que en todas las casas tenían, en las iglesias o en los templos más bien, pero que ahora se ha vuelto el símbolo de Hawái y entonces lo volvieron como más, ¿cómo dirías? Goofy, como...
Más un souvenir.
pues más un souvenir, caras más raras, pero en realidad era para proteger las casas. Entonces colecciona desde antiguos hasta modernos y para donde voltees hay pequeños tesoros.
A couple other scattered ones.
Who plays the piano?
I try to.
Do you know this guy, the new guy that is making like art toys but in wood?
Oh, is he the one that Hirota works with sometimes with like those slices of color, it looks like? Yeah, those are kind of cool. What's it? Hiroshi? You know, it's fun to live with this stuff because it livens up the space.
Yeah.
His work is amazing, but to me it lacks the incredible detail that Shigeru's did. And I always felt that way.
It's different. That looks like a toy, only a toy.
Yeah. It's got like a kind of a charming, chunky feel, and that's the nature of his stuff. On the two sides is Anraku Ansaku, who is an aging maker. He's still making stuff, but his stuff is licensed now through Medicom.
Oh, okay.
And the paintwork it's pretty crappy by comparison. It's very heavy-handed, it's sloppy often. This toy here, which is called Goga, or Goga Mozilla, his character, this was actually a very unique one-off because it was hand-painted by the guy who did the sculpt, named Okuda. So this is exceptionally rare. Okay. Another one that probably a lot of people have never really seen.
Great.
And the detail of it is really amazing. That's also a Anraku, like a regular run of Anraku stuff. He used to sell his stuff to people that were only on his mailing list. It was sort of like a fan club.
Okay.
And they would be offered the opportunity to buy.
It's weird, but at the same time, it's what makes them desired.
True, and they're banging their drum as best as they can.
Y vean esto, llegó un primitivo. Este fue un regalo que le hice a mi amigo. It's been very hard not to tell your name in all the videos, but es pues la pieza favorita de Frank Misterio. Le pedí que me hiciera uno porque quería obsequiárselo a mi amigo coleccionista y que esta pieza estuviera en tremenda colección. Creo que se rifó. Está muy padre la pintura y todo. I hope you like the Mexafubi.
I do. Great use of colors. I like how he did some with the gloss varnish, playing with the varnishes, and then the matte also on the back.
Old school.
Yeah.
Frank, te rifas, papi, ¿eh? Una piecita. Va a estar aquí viviendo y disfrutando Hawái.
Thank you. Gracias.
That's right. Wow, I'm amazed. It's like...
I'm glad to show them to you. It's nice to share.
So after all this talk, which one is your favorite?
I love them all equally, but this one for me, with all those pin dots, the green and the blue, the glow in the dark, the directional sprays, I feel like so much is packed into this one toy that it may never be beaten.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Certainly not anymore, sadly, by Shigeru, and I don't know that anybody else could even hold the candle. Okay, this will be the most people that have ever been in the bathroom. Come on, get ready, because we're gonna go lights off.
Let me put if you want.
Wow.
So the way those dots work, you know.
Oh my God, it looks like texture. That's incredible. Es como cuando fuimos a la bahía luminiscentes.
In Japan, he's actually an Italian guy. I know I'm like 1 degree away from them. Apparently they're looking to do sort of a registry, or they're talking about it. It'd be very hard because so many people are private. Personally, I think it's a great idea, but a registry of all of his work where every owner would kind of send a picture.
But for example, what happened with the molds?
Oh, most of them, well, later ones still must exist, those larger forms. The smaller ones, this size, supposedly he destroyed or had destroyed while he was living.
Really?
Yeah, when he did that larger scale sculpt, he said that no more of the original Boryoku Genjin.
So he broke the
should be
mold.
broken.
Aún con el molde roto y la muerte de Shigeru, el mítico Boryoku Genjin seguirá siendo historia y será resguardado en el lugar más preciado por sus guardianes. Estoy muy contento de haber podido ver esta magnífica colección y lo mejor es compartirlo con todos ustedes. Ahora nuestra tarea es que este artista viva por siempre. Les tengo una sorpresa. Pude hacerme de otro Nag para mi colección, gracias a Mr. D, que es el mejor tesoro que me llevo de esta aventura. Suerte en la cacería.